Hello, everyone. This is Federico Arellano. You can find me at Arellano Yao with double L and Y. And today I am very happy to present Felipe. Hello, Felipe. Are you here with us?
Hi, Ariano. Yes, I'm here. Nice to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting, Felipe. Well, first thing first, what is your name and where do you live?
Yeah, yeah. My name is Felipe Ferri. I am originally Brazilian, but currently I'm living in the UK in Cambridge, where I work for the University of Cambridge, the Centre for Alternative Finance, housed in the Judge and Business School, where we do research related to the fintech space.
Wow, that's amazing at so many different levels. Um, this channel specifically features different content about entrepreneurship. And when talking about entrepreneurship, I think you cannot divide it from a concept you just mentioned about your center, that it's alternative finance, right? And of
Yeah.
course, fintech. What is fintech? I would like to start from scratch.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, there are several definitions of fintechs now out there. And here in this century for alternative finance, we define fintechs as entities that use uh, digital technology to provide or to enable the provision of financial service, typically to households, consumer, and small businesses. So it refers to a set of activities um, through financial channels that facilitate the emerging of this technology out from the traditional financial systems such as incumbents and those like big banks, for example.
Absolutely. Um, this this is very interesting because everyone I have interviewed, when I always ask them about what's their main challenge, they always say finance at some point or another.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say it's lack of money. Some others they say that their country do not have a culture that it's strong enough to support entrepreneurs financially. And all of these different ideas and different problems always come to my mind when I talk to these actors like big banks, as you just mentioned, um, by saying, you know what, there is a huge chance for making innovation in finance. This innovation may be in products. This innovation may be in ways to approach to their clients, of course, to different alternatives and however. But what do you think, as you can see, and in the place you are at Cambridge University, what do you see are the most interesting opportunities for the fintech industry, not only in Latin America, but also around the world?
Yes. Well, when finding no fintechs, it's all comes to like disruptive mechanism in the financial system. So from new technology, from the creation of new products, like new way to analyze the credit scoring, for example, to create financial inclusion, open finance nowadays, like the use of these new mechanisms to green economy. So fintechs can underpin and contribute to the development of those aspects, through the use of the uh, new technologies. So it will bring also more access in regards of financial inclusion to underbanked, unbanked population, and also in the region, for example, in the Latin American region, we can see a very big development through digital payment platforms, bringing new and developing new digital payment service for the population in accord to the needs of the clients. So I think there's a whole new field for fintechs to explore, and we're going to into this discussion of what the markets and what is the needs of the actual development in a jurisdiction.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talking about this last thing, um, two questions in one. The first
Yeah.
one would be, do you think it's easy to be a fintech entrepreneur? Um, And the other one, which do you think are the challenges that are most commonly faced in this type of people starting businesses in the fintech industry?
Yes, I mean, I would say like um, when you want to start a business, it's not easy, no. Regardless
Yeah,
if
in
it's a
general,
fintech,
in
yeah, in
general, yeah.
general, no. But I would say like, for example, in the fintech space, the regulation plays a very important role when you are starting your business, no. So you have to understand if the regulatory landscape of that jurisdiction or that market is favorable for opening a fintech or to have a financial institution. Clear definitions, support for fintechs, and those things. Also, the infrastructure, of that jurisdiction, with regard like the macroeconomic factors like access to smartphones and things like that. So, again, the need of the market to know if in Latin America, for example, there is the financial gap, which is very huge, and we know it's a market need or that needs to be solved. So it can also play an opportunity or not. But what can be favorable for it can be a thing favorable for fintechs, but it's in my point of view, it's hard to define like what for the entrepreneur, like if it's a good space or not. It's a space that we are seeing that is really growing in the region. We can see from the
Yes.
rounds of investment in fintechs in Latin America, which are the biggest ones in the world,
Definitely, definitely, and probably it's because of this gap that you mentioned, right?
Yeah,
Always, when we have huge problems as societies, we also have huge opportunities, and
exactly.
that's always a chance to make it big. And talking about regulations, I would like to ask something that it's not a joke. It's a real question that I have, and I think that you can answer it to me. When you were saying that regulations and all of these challenges, I would like to ask: do governments innovate? I mean, do governments always think outside the box? And is there a way for them to create regulations in favor of the fintech industry? Can you mention any example that you have find anywhere in the world where governments do this? This is huge for me.
Yes, well, we do have some governments like concerned with innovation, no? For example, from our studies, we have one of the studies showing which governments have applying for innovation offices or sandboxes, for example. And the most common is sandboxes, which creates an environment for companies to apply and try their products in the market, no? And then the regulators will see what worked or not to then design the regulation. But for example, in the last years, we are seeing governments creating or regulating crypto and digital assets. So here in Europe, we have the MICI, the MiCA regulation on market in crypto markets. So the Europeans or the European Union, despite being sometimes like having taking some precautions regard crypto, they see that as a novelty that will come to the market. So they are creating a regulatory environment to try to regulate the stable coins, the use of stable coins and cryptocurrencies in the exchange like markets, for example. So they applied a sandbox, which is called like pilot R, to those companies to try their products in the market, for example. But so there are some other jurisdictions they take more precaution or different approach. Like in France, they use another approach than the one taken in the European Union. So they have different laws. Here in the UK, they also applied the regulation for the open finance, which was the pilot for the rest of the world. It was very innovative. They also did sandboxes. And now, if you see, like in the US, we have Biden signalizing to create and try to regulate the crypto markets in that country. Like the mayor of New York and Miami gave good signals to implement crypto in the city. So Biden is trying to also recognize crypto as something that will happen in the future. So we can see, even in Venezuela, we could see the benefits of digital currency. So I think governments are going and are accepting, and also the regulators are accepting that innovation comes. So they have to work aligned to these changes in the market. So we can see as like some jurisdictions applying innovative mechanisms, like regulatory mechanisms.
Wow. And yeah, you're right. And I mean, everyone, every government should do it,
Yeah,
because things are moving forward, and they're moving forward fast.
exactly.
About talking about time frame, when in time can you see all of these big changes and all of these big gaps? I know that it's multi-factors, and I know that we cannot predict the future. Any one of us can't. But
Yeah.
I would like to ask, um, when do you think all of this, for example, cryptocurrency, which is amazing, and you just quoted the Venezuelan example, which I think it's very important, because you can see that even though the political factors may affect in some way, even though um, there's many physical restrictions on so many things, we can see that technology is of course closing a gap, and we can see that this technology, when it comes together with finance, it can provide tools and it can provide opportunities for people that didn't have it in the past. So when do you see this big change is going to come? Do you think we're going to see cryptocurrencies accepted by governments in 20 years, in 10 years, in 2 years from now? Um, do you see these sandboxes becoming more and more popular in every government in the world, in 10 years, in five? When do you see that more or less all of these big changes are happening? Do you have any information or any data to say, okay, this may happen, and when?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think for some things are going to happen like very soon. As I mentioned, like we have many countries already discussing the CBDC, the central bank for
Of
digital
course.
currency, yes, application as of the Feds in the US. Uh, um, the Chinese government like working on that here in Europe, having discussions about the use of digital assets. So I really believe that it will start happening soon, and we are seeing like different governments applying sandboxes, like in Africa, in Latin America, in Europe, in North America. So it's a big development, and also countries creating innovation hubs to try to apply those innovations. No, we also see some precautions towards DeFi development, for example, but the CBDC is something that's happening. So I truly believe like if we see one development working in a jurisdiction, others jurisdictions will reply that, as the open banking in the UK, which was the leading country in applying this framework. So now you can see it was replicated very well in Brazil, for example. It's being replicated it was replicated in Mexico, for example. Chile is working on that. We are seeing countries like Nigeria, Uganda doing the same, like more countries in Europe doing the same. Now Thailand is also working in creating their open finance, open banking framework. So those innovative ways of improving the regulation is taking place, because I think the policymakers are seeing that applying innovative ways or even exchanging experience is the future. And you can see that from our research. For example, we have the regulatory team And then we also publish regulatory research. It's not my thing, but I have some knowledge on that. So we see that we have a networking in the world that they exchange idea. We have the RKE in the century, which is a forum for regulators to exchange ideas. So they are trying to apply. For example, they have to respect their regulatory environment in that country, but they are trying to apply innovation, because what everyone says, like the innovation or the technological breakthrough comes like faster than the regulatory change. So you
Yes,
have to work on that. But yes, we are
yes.
gonna see different
We we,
developments.
we always think regulation as slow, right? As the baby
Yeah.
brother of the family who always is behind their big brothers. That would be innovation, and that would be, of course, social problem solving. We're getting to the end of the interview, Felipe. Just thank you again. Just a very quick question. Um, do you see a bright future? I mean, do you see that the future with this fintech innovation would be a better world?
Yes, I to be honest, I have to believe that. No, I'm researching in this world, and for me, like the fintech is and will continue to be a whole ocean of opportunity. As the technological advancements will keep coming and evolving and creating new business models. As I said, we are going to see new developments in the regulation, and it all will be beneficial for the entrepreneurs, for the
Yes.
fintech entrepreneurs. And also, if they know how to explore these gaps and also to use these uh, new technologies in favor to their business, and also to create financial inclusion and to tap these gaps in the market, I think it will be very beneficial to entrepreneurs in the world.
Thank you, Felipe.
Mhm.
Well, you have heard it. If you are a fintech entrepreneur, if you feel that you can reach Felipe for something, we will leave all of his contact details on the comment section. Thank you very much, Felipe, for accepting this interview. Hopefully, so many good things will happen after this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was very nice to be here.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and see you on the next one.